very warm welcome back to the Dan Maskell Tennis Centre here at Loughborough University. We have already seen two terrific performances in the first of our matches today. Emily Appleton squeezed through against Freya Christie in a match tiebreak, so she will contest the women's final tomorrow. And Jack Findle-Hawkins has just shown us once again what he is capable of, and tomorrow he'll have a chance of finishing fifth in week one of the UK Pro League. Straight on to another match now. Waiting just behind the curtain away to my right is Olivia Nicholls, who has a chance as well to finish in fifth place by the end of tomorrow. She's 26 years of age. She's from Norwich. She won 2 and lost 3 in her box. She's won a number of ITF doubles titles. She's very sharp at the net. A Loughborough University graduate, a massive Norwich City fan. She'll be keeping an eye out for their result against Luton later today. She also loves to cook, and her mum Anne is coaching her this week. I hope they're getting on okay. Tom Kiesel is her regular coach, who I'm sure will get plenty of feedback. And her opponent is Kylie Bilchev, who's 18 years of age, from Ipswich. So we've got an East Anglian derby here. It could get feisty. Kylie won 2 and lost 3 in her box, but she was very close to making the semi-finals last night. She's a biology and chemistry A-level student, a baseliner, a fighter. Dario Joffre of Argentina is her coach. And when she's not on court, she loves to make her own jewellery. So she is mighty, multi-talented. I wish I was. Every time I try and talk, this wretched mask keeps falling off my face, which is proving to be a little bit of a distraction. I need someone to make me a new one of those. Jenny, what are you expecting from this East Anglian tussle?
Oh, I'm really looking forward to this one because it's two contrasting game styles once again. Olivia Nicholls is a really well-established doubles player, loves coming into the net, hasn't played that much singles over the last couple of years. She's had a number of shoulder injuries, but is fighting back. She played in the Progress Tour last year, won the doubles, got to the semi-finals, helped organise it as well. And she's been playing really, really great tennis this week and has been quite happy to be back out in the singles court, which is really nice to see. And then, in contrast, you've got Kylie Bilchev, who, as you mentioned, is just 18 years old. She doesn't have a senior ranking yet. She's doing really well in the juniors. And here, she's just getting matches under her belt against players who have got far more experience than her. And I'm looking forward to seeing how she has recovered from that loss last night. She was upset. It was a difficult one to take. She really created such amazing opportunities for herself, led in that match tiebreak. So I'm looking forward to seeing her mentality today, her attitude, because it was late last night when she finished and now back on today. So very much looking forward to this one. Yeah,
that is going to be a test of her character because it was a very tight tiebreak. Had she won that match comprehensively last night, she would have made it through to the semi-final. She was in tears at the end. She had a little bit of a problem with her groin as well, so there are a couple of questions to answer. But it's the rejuvenation of all these players. You mentioned Olivia Nicholls, who's had her injury concerns, and we've seen so many. Dan Cox, of course, who turned his back on the game for a number of years and has rediscovered his love for it. This is one of the most exciting aspects, perhaps, of the whole UK Pro League, Jenny.
Oh, I totally agree, and something, like commentating on the matches all week, this is something that I've got to get to know these players a lot more, and every single one has a different story, which is so fascinating to get to know. As we know, tennis is such a difficult sport. These players have sacrificed so much over the years. Their families have as well. And to see them now playing and giving everything they have, it's just wonderful to see. Yeah.
Do you think in terms of the mental approach, the fact that, you know, even if you do lose, you are coming back, does that help to free you up a little bit, or are they so professional that the very thought of losing is just too much to take?
Well, that is interesting you asked that, because this format doesn't allow you to dwell on it too much. You've got to make those changes quickly. Otherwise, it could affect your confidence, because bear in mind, this is, you know, a 9-week league essentially. Well, 8 weeks, and then you're trying to qualify for the 9th week. So it's a lot of tennis to be played. You've got to really make sure that your attitude is on point and you're at least speaking to your coach about it. What can you come back and change for the next match, and play in the present. I've said that a few times this week. It's super important for these players to do.
Yeah, and we know there's an awful lot of camaraderie between the players, but here now we've got Ipswich against Norwich, so anything could happen.
Anything could happen. I mean, in Olivia's last match, she played her doubles partner, Alicia Barnett, who's a really good friend of hers, so she had to deal with that there, and it's something that will happen as it is a British domestic league. These players know each other really, really well, and But it also adds to the drama.
Yeah.
We want to see some drama, some feistiness on the court, don't we?
Well, we do. Yes, we do. We certainly do. And a couple of moments of controversy never do anybody any harm. Not that we advocate that sort of thing, of course. Jenny, thank you very much indeed. Let's see whether it's Norfolk or Suffolk that emerges triumphant. We'll head up to the commentary box and join Gigi Salmon, who's alongside Pete Odgers.
Thank you very much, Marcus. Thank you very much, Jenny. We are on our third match of the day. It's the final 2 days of the UK Pro League. It's the first week of 8. It's a league situation. The first 9, the top 9 after those 8 weeks, will go through to finals week in early November. Gigi Salmon alongside Pete Odgers, and I think, Pete, that is the key thing about the UK Pro League. There is always something to play for.
Yeah, not just in the matches, but it's almost every point, isn't it? Because in the group stages, it was every set counted for a point. And so if you had a slow start, you were in a bit of trouble. And that almost was the case for Kylie Bilchev. Of course, in the previous match that she just played yesterday, that dramatic loss to Beth Gray, you know, she knew that she had to win in straight sets and ended up losing that second set. That was what she knew. She couldn't then make it through to the semi-finals. But it's high pressure. And, of course, for these players as well, the other brilliant thing about this is that they're on TV. It's being broadcast everywhere, for Bilchev in particular, parents watching in Bulgaria.
Yes, they
and
are.
So, you know, that's a new pressure as well, having that spotlight on them. And particularly for someone like Kylie Bilchev, only 18 years of age, these are all great experiences to have.
For Olivia Nicholls, it's a little bit close to home because Mum Anne is on the sideline. She's her designated coach for this match, and you've been having a little bit of a chat with her.
Yeah, and she was actually just saying how great it's been, the fact that she can watch her daughter play. And, you know, Olivia Nicholls, a lot of the time previously, you know, she's 26 years of age and had been trying to play on the ITF circuit, so often has to go away to places like Egypt and Estonia and all these different places around the world. And it's difficult for a mum to be able to go to those matches because obviously they travel as a team, they travel away. And so for her, she was just saying how enjoyable it's been that she is courtside. I did ask how nervous she gets. She said she does get nervous, but I think compared to others, not as much. And of course, some players don't particularly like having a parent that close watching. They can sometimes feel it. But Olivia's said herself she's really enjoyed having Mum that close.
And can I just say, if people are wondering why Mum Anne is wearing a coat and gloves, it's that cold. That's needed. So wisely, Mum is wrapped up. In terms of Olivia Nicholls, Pete mentioned 26 years of age. She finished third in box A, coming in with 9 points, 3 wins, and wrapped up very well for this weather round. 3 wins and 2 losses. Just on day 5 yesterday, losing to her sometime doubles partner, Alicia Barnett. They won the doubles in the Progress Tour, a tournament that they actually created with Barry Fulcher to give players a chance to compete and earn at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah, and I have to say, I really liked her reaction to that loss. It's not easy playing against a good friend and a doubles partner. It was a straight sets defeat, but I thought throughout her attitude was spot on. She recognised actually that Barnett just played almost the match of her life. She just didn't do anything wrong, served really well, took the ball on. And usually I worry for sort of younger players, they beat themselves up. And she didn't do that at all. She recognised that her opponent's just playing really good tennis. And even speaking to her after the match, she said, yeah, I was actually pretty happy with my level. And I think that shows real maturity to be able to go, OK, actually, my opponent played really well there. I tried everything, didn't quite work, but I'm not going to sort of get myself down about it. So I loved her temperament, loved her attitude.
It's going to be an interesting contest. Kylie Bilchev coming through has an ITF junior ranking of 163, just 18 years of age. She's based here as part of the National Academy. Olivia Nicholls, in your picture, studied here, came back to work as a pro coach. And it's going to be Nicholls who's going to get things started in this third match of the day.
That's a superb return. So it will be important today for Nicholls to serve well indoor courts. But, very good hand skills of Bilchev, pretty comfortable off both wings. Well, there we go. I just said she's pretty comfortable off both wings. Forehand winner off one. Now the backhand winner.
Backhand tends to be the steadier of the sides for Bilchev, showing us exactly what she can do and an early opportunity to get the early break. Oh, stunning from Bilchev. First break point opportunity, gets the break, and it's a great reaction from losing as she did to Beth Gray the night before she had the injury timeout. She was actually in tears as she left the court. It meant so much. Fantastic reaction from the 18-year-old to come out here today and to stamp her mark on this match.
Yeah, completely agree. And it was important that she did start well, and I could see just before I came out to get into the commentary position having quite an intense discussion with her coach, and I'm sure it was about yesterday. Clear disappointment to not make the semi-finals, and this is the unique format of this, so because, as you said earlier, it's a league. So usually you lose, you're out the tournament, you're done. But the fact that you lose and now you've got to try and get your head switched back on, and it's a great experience for someone who is just 18 years of age to be able to deal with that sort of situation. And so far, so good.
And we can see the tape on the inside of the right thigh. She did have to leave the court yesterday to have that medical timeout, but she's been able to get herself in a position to compete again today. And that's another challenge for these players. It's 7 matches in 7 days.
In a freezing cold tennis arena.
It's very cold.
It's been a super start. They're seeing it like a football, and I always talk about playing with the house's money. That's what we often say when a player, faces match points and then survives. Of course, when a player loses, it's a similar sort of situation, as in probably has that weight off her shoulders now, can play with a bit more freedom.
Youngest player in the tournament at the age of 18, Kylie Bilchev. 2 wins and 3 losses through Box B. We should say that they are playing for a place in the 5th place playoff. Where you finish, you get points, it adds up. The top 9 after the 8 weeks will make it into finals weeks, and then they add in 3 wildcards on top of that.
Yeah, I'm sure her coach, Dario, would have talked about the fact that it's a process. It's also at her age saying it's a process of just trying to improve. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and all those cliches.
But it's so frustrating when someone says that to you, isn't it?
I apologise to Kylie Bilchev's family right now. But yeah, in terms of the age, she's at 18. It's still looking at improvements with her game rather than desperately trying to get those match wins. But I mean, with junior players, even at the age of 7, they're desperate to get those match wins. You've always got to try and give them perspective, but not easy.
That's the importance to consolidate the break, which is what she's done, holding to 15, and a really good start from Kylie Bilchev.
Are you competitive, Gigi? Were you even at a very young age?
I think I'm frustratingly not. So
Oh,
when
okay.
I don't know, a board game or whatever with your children and they get really competitive, they get annoyed that I'm not competitive, if that's a thing.
Yeah, I can understand that.
competitive?
Yes, but I know people who are far more competitive. I certainly, as a junior player, I wasn't desperate to win. I didn't hate losing as much as others. I wanted to win, but I wasn't overly bothered if I lost, which isn't what you want if you want to be a pro at anything.
It means you get on with everybody.
Yeah, that was a bonus.
Yeah.
That's a sensational shot from Bilchev. Approach wasn't bad at all from Nicholls, and you can understand the applause here. Because, I mean, she's on the stretch, she's in the open stance position. Relatively diminutive figure, but that was great strength on the open stance position to thread the needle with the forehand.
Yeah, she saw the space, took the advantage. And now another little opening here for Bilchev. Don't have ball boys or ball girls here, trying to keep the bubble as COVID secure as possible, so no line judges, no ball boys or girls.
Well read by Bilchev. She read what Nicholls was going to do. Just couldn't control the volley. It's an area of the game that Nicholls is very strong. She's so comfortable at the front of the court. Of course, plays mostly doubles. Sort of playing singles, she said, to help her on the doubles court. But her focus will be doubles after the Pro League.
Again, the space was there from Bilchev. She took advantage. She knows that Nicholls is going to be coming forward. And it's the second break point of the match for the 18-year-old. And this to go a double break to the good in this first set. They are calling their own lines. No one's sure what happened there.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think Nicholls clearly felt she had a call, so I think they're going to first serve again. Good honesty from everyone, really, in truth.
Good play from Bilchev, just showing something a little bit different to Olivia Nicholls, and it's the perfect start for Kylie Bilchev. The 18-year-old has raced into a 3-love lead in the first set against Olivia Nicholls. Welcome back to the UK Pro League. We are playing for a place in the 5th place playoff, and it's been the perfect start for this young lady in your picture. 18-year-old Kylie Bilchev with an ITF ranking of 163 in the juniors, the youngest to take part in this tournament. She has bounced back from her defeat late last night, we should say, with the injury timeout. The perfect start against Olivia Nicholls.
Yeah, she's just been reading the serve really well. As I say, comfortable off both wings. She's been returning fabulously and counter-punching her way to this 3-love lead.
15 love.
I say returning well, she's been serving superbly well as well. Barely put her foot wrong. I mean, the key today for Bilchev was to just stop Nicholls from coming forward and dictating the play. And Nicholls hasn't been able to, as much as she's got to the net a couple of times, she hasn't got to the net off a ball which has got Bilchev on the stretch.
I didn't hear the let. 30 love.
So Nicholls thinking she had a let. It looked very close to the line, but happy to give it to Bilchev.
Really aggressive play from Bilchev. She's got Nicholls on the run, knows exactly what she's got to do. Using the backhand, flattening out, finding the space, and completely in control up to this point.
Yeah, and you were the one who said she's more comfortable off the backhand side, and you can see that. Could have taken that on the forehand, deciding to move around it.
That's a double break consolidated. First love hold of the match, and it's full love. Feels like a blink of an eye for the 18-year-old who, she's still very young, but she did have a back issue that set her back a little bit, and it's almost even more frustrating when you're young to have time out injured because you see the people around you moving on, developing, but she's had to get that sorted out, and now she's part of the National Academy based here at Loughborough under Nick Cavaday.
Yeah, really tough age to have an injury as well, because it's your transition from juniors to seniors, and you know you don't want to then fall behind your rivals. That's better from Nicholls. She just built the point there, set the point up, and this time was able to get Bilchev on the stretch.
And as you said, that's what she's been looking to do. She is a doubles specialist. She got to a career high of 220 in January 2019, and the doubles currently at 324.
Better. And it was interesting, actually, you mentioned injuries there with Bilchev, but Nicholls, of course, had shoulder surgery, and again, talking to her mum and herself, sort of saying that she still feels very young because, you know, went to university and so didn't play that much junior tennis on the ITF circuit, and then, of course, once she sort of built up her confidence at university here in Loughborough, then had the shoulder injury, and so she just feels she hasn't actually had a long run at playing ITF tennis. So still feels she's got a lot of tread on the tyres, so to speak.
But she certainly has at the age. It's amazing how we call 26 old, but then you have 18-year-olds like Kylie Bilchev coming through. But as you say, it's still very young, especially if she's going to specialise in doubles to really extend that career and see where she can get to.
Yeah, I think the shoulder injury, then lockdown, it was a sort of doubleness of not being able to play.
Nicholls.
Good hold, important hold, necessary hold
Bilchev
for
leads
Olivia
4
Nicholls
games to 1.
because she has got her first game on the board, but it's Kylie Bilchev with the double break and the 4-1 lead.
Time.
Got a bumper day of tennis action for you. Still 3 matches to come, all semi-finals. And this playing for a place in the 5th place. And remember, it's all about league standings and points and trying to qualify for the finals. So every position counts.
Love 15.
Brilliant tennis from Nicholls again. And I liked what she's done. She's adapted here. She's just thought, OK, I'll take a couple of balls before I come into net. But again, look at the court speed from Bilchev. I think it was a good job. Nicholls was alert there, having to play 1 extra ball. Might have thought that the job was done.
Love 30.
That was good by Bilchev. Before that last point, she just took a little bit of extra time to settle herself.
Sharapova-esque.
Yeah, it was.
Which, of course, yeah, a lot of coaches will work on routine and rhythm. So important for players. Making sure you've got that set routine before you play every point.
Also, if you can try and break the rhythm of your opponent.
Let her serve. Second serve.
A lot of pressure
15,
from
14.
Nicholls off that second serve, really standing up and in to take it.
Yeah, we saw in a match against Barnett, and something that she's been doing all week, actually, sometimes is taking that second serve on early and then coming to net. And not only, as you just said there, it sometimes wins you points by doing that, but it wins you points without even hitting a ball, as we saw there, because Bilchev will be fearing that.
First break point opportunity of the match for Olivia Nicholls. That's a good serve that pulled Nicholls out wide.
13,
Loved
14.
it. The character there is in break point down. First time she's faced break points, but backs herself here, Bilchev. First time we've seen a serve and volley. Loved the slider out wide, and also just thought about it. Waited to see where Nicholls was with the return. Saw that she opened the racket face, so then in she went. Really smart tennis from the 18-year-old.
Great recovery from Nicholls to turn around that point
Bilchev
to take
leads.
the break, and
4 games
still
to 2.
has the break advantage, Bilchev, but Nicholls will feel a lot happy that she's got one of them back and just reduce the deficit.
Yeah, it seems like she's in a rhythm now. That was just beautiful tennis to watch. There's a real flow about Olivia Nicholls' way she moves up the court. Never looks rushed or hurried at the net either. Technically very sound with that forehand volley. Really good response.
Really was. She likes to cook in her spare time, Olivia Nicholls.
It's cooking up some good tennis.
She's cooking up some good tennis, and off court she cooks up vegan meals.
Oh, really? Vegan? Is she vegan as well, or does she just like cooking vegan meals?
She likes cooking vegan meals. It's probably vegan.
We'll find out after, somehow.
We can get Marcus.
Get
maybe
Marcus
to ask
on that,
her
yeah.
if she wins.
He's not doing much now,
It's
anyway.
a very important post-match question. She's also a massive Norwich City fan.
Yes.
15 love.
Yeah, that was something I was chatting to her mum about. I said, after tennis, what's she looking to do? And she was saying that she wants to get into football, or that was the initial hope. Said the whole family's a big Norwich City fan. Football's always on. But I think now she's thinking maybe not. I'm not sure, maybe thinking of a different career path.
Well, she'll be very happy with how Norwich are doing at the moment, top of the championship. And as you said, she's found her stride now, settled in now, Olivia Nicholls.
And this is where Bilchev's, he's also got to be a little aware. Doesn't want to drop her head here. Did a lot of things right in the first 4 or 5 games.
T15.
Again, it's the eagerness to get forward, but not sure whether that was the right ball to come to net on. It's decent length from Bilchev. But I just love the attitude. Right, I'm not staying back on the baseline. I don't want any of that nonsense. Get me to the net.
An important point here now for Nicholls, having just got one of the breaks back, with Bilchev looking to reset herself and increase the pressure on Nicholls.
Well, it was the right move. And for once, just not quite executing on the volley. And it was good awareness to recognise she got her opponent on the stretch.
She's 2 from 2 on break points. Bilchev looking to make it a hat trick and regain the double break in this first set. Oh, just missed it. Kylie Bilchev regains the double break in this first set and puts herself in a very good position. She is a game away from the first set at 5-2. Kylie Bilchev, 18 years of age, a chance now to close out the first set, playing for a place in the 5th place playoff. Bilchev finishing 4th in box B. And just to level things up, I've given you what Olivia Nicholls likes to do. Kylie Bilchev likes to make jewellery, uses metal and beads. I think she sells it to friends.
Nice. Oh,
it's got to befriend.
That's another reason to befriend her. Not only a great tennis player, but get some free jewellery as well on top of that.
15-0.
To work a little bit harder because she went back to Nicholls with the volley. But
13,
again,
15.
nice to see her coming forward off the serve.
Well, you said she likes giving gifts. And so the first volley there was a bit friendly, just allowing Nicholls back into the point. But yeah, good concentration on the overhead there to get it done.
A little smile towards her coach afterwards. 2 points from the first set, Bilchev.
Slightly short from Bilchev, but again, look at the attacking intent from Nicholls. No hesitation, looking to get on top of that forehand.
Great play from Nicholls.
30-40.
And this time skipping around the ball. And again, excellent footwork to make sure she could take this ball on the rise. Jumping into the shot.
She's asking questions of Bilchev.
Game, Nicholls.
And there's the break. It's the second break of the set
Bilchev
for
leads 5 games to
Olivia
3.
Nicholls. Bilchev still does have the advantage, but when asked the question, she could not convert, and this set will continue.
Yeah, and again, good response. You get the feeling if we do head into a second set relatively soon, it's going to be a tight affair because it's a very slow start from Nicholls. Maybe just wasn't into the rhythm of the match early on. She made a bit of a slow start against Barnett as well.
She has a level 3 coaching qualification. Nicholls studied sports science and management here at Loughborough, and after graduating took on a role as a pro player coach, so it would allow her to keep training here and using the facilities.
I did the very same thing when I was here. They offer, yeah, if you play tennis, they give it for you at a cost. I couldn't say that right.
I nodded, but it definitely wasn't right.
Yeah, you knew what I was saying, right?
Yes.
You got to pay less money because you were training here as a tennis player, and therefore you didn't have to pay as much to do your level 3 coaching course. And it's a good way as well because, you know, the tennis players at Loughborough University, it enables them to get then earn a bit of a living as well at the same time, gives them something else that they can do which can support them if they do want to go onto the tour. So it's a really good initiative. I'm glad to know it's still going. I didn't know it was still going, but that was about 11, 12 years ago that I did mine. So.
I thought you said you were 11. I thought you were very advanced.
I was super
Fell away
brainy.
quite dramatically. It's really good. It allows the players to stay involved. And during lockdown, we have the National Tennis Centre, where if you're in the top 25, male or female, you could train there, the top 25. And luckily, Loughborough opened a little bit earlier, so there were players who were able to come here and use the facilities, because these have been and continue to be very difficult and strange times.
Oh.
15-30.
They didn't hold back there. Very quick to move around the ball and get a favoured backhand into play.
She'd dearly love to get the job done here, Bilchev.
But another thing with doing the coaching course, I think sometimes it helps players who are still playing pro level, as in because you then learn what you perhaps need to be doing. You start thinking about the game a little bit more, thinking from a coach's point of view, which can help your own game style.
(40-30).
That's really good movement around the court, Bilchev.
Yeah, it was buzzing around the court. It's so difficult, and that's the task for Nicholls. These two are nicely matched. That's why we're seeing a really enjoyable first set here, because Nicholls is trying to hit through the defence there, but Bilchev's so quick around the court, good with her hands too, so she's done a very good job of getting the ball down to the feet of her opponent. And it's really just who can execute better at what they do. They're tactically pretty sound right now with how they've played this first set.
Advantage, Bilchev.
We have our first set point. Bilchev was broken when serving for the set, but now an opportunity on the serve of Nicholls to get that first set on the board as they play for a place in the 5th place playoff. Remember, the higher up you finish, it's prize money, it's points in the league, building up over the 8 weeks and leading to finals week in November. Set point, Bilchev.
Brilliantly saved, isn't it? Not easy to put those volleys away, particularly set point down. Great footwork there. I always say you need to volley with your feet, and the first one there, she was quickly to it, got to the ball, so it was higher than the height of the net.
Advantage, Nicholls.
It's a really good hold from Olivia Nicholls, having to save that set point. And once again, Pete, she will ask the question of Kylie Bilchev, who failed to answer it the last time round.
Yeah, she's just done a terrific job of just hanging in there, and I think she's got better and better really as this match went on, as this match has gone on. As I say, I like the way she's built the point. I also like what she does at the back of the court. As in, I was saying this the last time I commentated on it. Used to do a game with some younger junior players, and used to have to get them to call out what your opponent's going to do as early. Are they going to slice it? Are they going to hit it hard? And you can just see she's done those sort of games throughout her time, because she's so aware of what Bilchev's going to do. In terms of when she's got her on the stretch, that first step forward is so quick, and she's very alert of what's going on over the other side of the net. And I think also doubles helps you with that, and that's why we're seeing this great awareness from her to get forward and which ball she should be coming forward on. I think she started off maybe a little over-eager, a little perhaps snatching at a few balls, but she's building the point really nicely now. And it's been a terrific effort to just hang with Bilchev. Or at least ask the question, as you say.
Absolutely. She's asking it. I thought she was leaving. She is. Bye-bye. Remember, no ball boys or ball girls. They've got to round up the balls. We do have 2 players. That's the good news. And it will be Bilchev for a second time in this set to serve for the set. Lost her day 1 and day 2 matches, Bilchev, to Emily Appleton, who's through to tomorrow's final, then to Alice Gillen, another big hitter of the ball. A couple of wins against Naudi Rawson and Ella Taylor, then a tight defeat last night to Beth Gray.
Love.
Also said in her previous matches, like her temperament with regards to Nicholls, in terms of because she plays such attacking tennis, such front foot tennis, you know, she's going to miss some balls at times, but she's just so level-headed, you know, nice temperament. It would be easy to play the brand of tennis that she plays, to get frustrated missing those balls.
Left, first serve.
She's currently just outside 1,000 in the singles rankings, Nicholls. But as we mentioned, it really is about doubles in terms of the future for Olivia Nicholls.
Yeah, she was just saying how tough it is in terms of when you're outside the top 1,000. Is that, you know, you're going to have to get a pre-qualifying and then qualifying, and then so you've got to play 7 matches by the time you get to try and win a world ranking point. And so when you're near 200 in the world in doubles, you're thinking, okay, actually, it's easy to focus on that, particularly at 26. And you know, top 220 she's got to in doubles, and you felt she was trending in the right direction. So, you know, it's an honest ambition to play at Wimbledon and try and win a couple of rounds there.
One of the ambitions is you're hoping to get a wild card into the doubles this year. She's played in qualifying at Wimbledon once in the doubles Nicholls.
But it does just showcase, doesn't it, how talented all these players are. You know, the phenomenal skill sets so many of them have, and how tough it is just to get into Wimbledon, just to play a doubles main draw event. I think it's often forgotten. Lots of people just sat at home watching round 1, even if they're the lower end of round 1. The work ethic that's got to go in, not just now, but from the age of 3 all the way through your life. The sacrifices that have got to be made.
First serve.
And not only that, I was also chatting to her mum about the fact they come from Norfolk, which is difficult. You've got to travel a long way to get to play other players similar to your ability. It's not easy doing so much travelling.
You had a long chat with her mum,
I did. It was fun.
Oh, and as she did the last time Bilchev was serving for the set,
14.
Nicholls has brought up some break points to get us back on serve.
Yeah, she's bossing the match right now, Nicholls. Again, that return was excellent. Got Bilchev on the back foot. And again, coming forward at exactly the right time. Most of her volleys have been pretty routine because of the setup.
There it is, we are back on serve. Disappointing for Bilchev. She's had a couple of opportunities to serve out. She's the youngest here at 18. It's learning all the time, but the experience of Nicholls just staying calm, staying in there, playing her game, has meant that from love 4 down, we're now 5-all.
Yeah, and the problem for Bilchev, she doesn't have any huge weapons. And so when Nicholls have started to dictate, if she serves well, she's not allowing Bilchev to get those second serve returns in. This is where the psychology can switch, Gigi, because, of course, Bilchev's been expected to win this set, went 4-love up. And so Nicholls has been able to play it as the underdog. But now suddenly Nicholls is expected to win it, having got back to 5-all. So can she deal with that sort of pressure?
And how does Bilchev react from being a double break up and now back on serve?
I think she's found the line.
15-all. T15.
Just open the racket face a fraction too much. Could see what she was trying to do there, and I don't think it was a bad tactic. Always good to try and slice particularly deep on the approach, because your opponent will have to hit up. But just open the racket face a little too much there, or at least got underneath the ball too much.
T30.
Whisker away. Just overcooking the backhand.
Another important role here is to keep an eye on where the balls end up, so you can find them.
We're not far off Easter. It's a bit like an Easter egg hunt
It's a little bit,
at times.
Excellent change up from Bilchev. Gets herself a breakpoint opportunity now. She's been clean through her breakpoint. She's had 3 and she's converted 3. And this, if she converts here, will give her a third opportunity to close out this set and serve for it.
Yeah, that was brilliant as well, how tough she was. She stayed on top of the baseline there. Able to deal with the pace and power of Nicholls.
Game, Bilchev.
There it is, another break for
New balls.
Kylie Bilchev, and very shortly she's going to have another
Bilchev
opportunity
leads
to see if
6
she
games
can
to 5.
close out this set as she strides back to her chair. A little bit of encouragement from the coach, and one thing that has stood out about Bilchev is her attitude from turning things around last night when she left the court in tears because of that very close defeat to Beth Gray, to how she came out firing today and how she hasn't let her head drop each time she's conceded the break.
Yeah, and I'm sure, as I say, we saw that intense discussion just going on just before this match started, and I'm sure that probably would have been something that Daria would have said to her in terms of saying, look, you know, if things go wrong, you just need to keep your head up. We saw her earlier on in the match as well doing the Maria Sharapova thing, going to the back of the court and refocusing. But it's a process, isn't it? Not just in terms of a game style, in terms of building your technique and building yourself as a tennis player with your ID, but also mentally in terms of dealing with different situations all the time, knowing what suits you best. We were chatting about Andy Murray off air a minute ago in terms of, you know, he used to fire himself up by getting into fights with his coaching team and things like that. And sometimes you need to find something like that, something that works for you. I know sometimes it didn't always work for Andy Murray, but in terms of you need to find what you deal with best in terms of your persona and what will get the best out of yourself.
Got a third opportunity here to serve for the set, the 18-year-old Kylie Bilchev. Third match of the day, 3 more to come. Now 3 points away.
Once just didn't get her feet up to the ball there, Nicholls. Got a little stuck. Slightly late on the contact point in terms of letting the ball drop. Devilish slice backhand, that one. Kept it so low over the net, and it's a very effective shot on this court because the slice will tend to skid low and almost die away. Trying to be positive, Bilchev, but it's a tough ball to strike on the drive volley straight after hitting the serve. Be very quick with the motion, and she also struck it above shoulder height, so couldn't quite get on top of it.
Game, Nicholls.
Bilchev can't believe it.
6 games all,
But we have a third break of serve when serving for the set for Olivia Nicholls, and it will come down to the tiebreak for Olivia Nicholls, remembering that she was love 4 down and now still the opportunity to take this first set.
Yeah, again, just tightened up there, Bilchev. Just trying to force it into the corner a little bit. It didn't seem to sort of swing through with that much conviction. Footwork wasn't quite as sharp as it has been in the early stages of this set as well. But again, you've got to give a lot of credit to Nicholls.
Using her experience, staying very calm, keeping herself in this set, and she will start things off in the first set tiebreak.
Just terrific front foot tennis. And every single ball there, she's looking to move up the court, taking it early. Look at that, taking it on the rise. It takes the time away from Bilchev. Complete conviction on the final forehand.
Mini break for Olivia Nicholls. Haven't seen too many double faults this afternoon. And now Bilchev just again taking just a couple more seconds at the back of the court.
Yeah, I think that's smart again. Looked like she was just rushing a little bit there in between the serves.
Double faults for
3-0
Bilchev,
and just the wind has been taken out of her sails a little bit. She's got to find a way just to gee herself up almost here. Head's just dropped a fraction. This is from Nicholls' point of view, you know, this is where it's so tough for Bilchev, because Nicholls has given her nothing emotionally, you know, in terms of it's just the same all the time. And, you know, whereas Bilchev, you kind of feel is going on a bit of an emotional roller coaster ride right now. And it's made that much harder when you're looking down the other side of the net and someone's not reacting to anything. You almost get the feeling she's trying to contain the emotion at the moment, Bilchev. Just wonder whether she needs to let it out somehow. But this is what I meant by when we, at 6 games all, or 6-5, I said about learning who you are and which ways get the best out of you as a person on the court.
You want to win every match you play, but it's also a learning process. Still very young, Kylie Bilchev at 18. Doing some really good things so far. She's already got a junior singles title as in 2018. She made a grade 2 quarter-final last year.
But it's been relentless from Nicholls. And this is something that Nicholls did well yesterday, where she recognised how well her opponent played. Right now, she's the one seeing it like a football.
Yeah, stayed so calm, Olivia Nicholls. 26 years of age, Nicholls. Played in the Progress Tour last summer, played singles and doubles. It's the first time she'd played singles in 2.5 years.
We're having a little chuckle there because she sat down at the change of ends. Maybe that much in the zone.
So
thinking I've done it.
Focused.
I'm 6 love up. I've done it. I don't need to play
Mum
anymore.
said, get up. Keep going.
There's one over there.
But now we're on our Easter egg hunt for the balls. An awful lot of work for Kylie Bilchev to do. And yeah, you don't get anything. She doesn't give anything, Nicholls, does she?
Nope.
Same expression, same body language.
I think even when she was told you sat down, she's okay, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, I could do that, right. Set point Nicholls, first of many.
One.
It's the first error she's made in the forecourt for some time. Has room to manoeuvre.
Perfect way for Olivia Nicholls to wrap up the set. A convincing tie-break win for Nicholls, just dropping the 1 point. She was love 4 down, but Olivia Nicholls takes the first set on the tie-break, 7-6. Right. Can you hear us, Olivia?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
that's amazing.
All right.
Okay. When we congratulations on the first set. When we come back from the break, we'll just do a couple of questions with you. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll let you get your breath for a couple of seconds, and we'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we're not giving her much of a break, so I'm delighted to say that we can speak to Olivia Nicholls now. Olivia, run us through what was going through your mind in that first set, from love 4 down to turn around and take it on the tie-break.
Well, to go 4 love up, she was literally hitting winners left, right and centre. So I was trying to think of a way to stop that, basically. Yeah, started to use the slice a little bit more, try and attack into her forehand, and yeah, it seemed to help.
Now throughout that set and throughout all your matches, Olivia, I love your temperament. You seem so calm on the court, but inside, are you actually that calm?
I wasn't calm at 4 love down, I can tell you that. But yeah, try and not show too much emotion, try not to give too much away.
And is it help having Mum Anne beside you?
She's doing some serious clapping to try and help me get through, that's for sure.
She's not too much of a nervous watcher?
You'll have to ask her that, I'm not sure.
You can't ask her that, Gigi, with her mum sat there, you know. You can't.
Actually, she might hear.
Yeah,
as well,
might
yes.
hear, yeah.
Olivia, great work on that first set, and best of luck for the rest of the match, and thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Didn't give her much of a break, did we?
No, it's harsh, you know, as if we've got to make it even tougher.
But even though she was saying there, 4 love down, she still looked calm. Still looked 4 love down,
yeah.
She's looked very calm. Like, in terms of demeanour, if you're Kylie Bilchev looking across the opposite side, you are not seeing someone who's very upset despite what was happening inside.
Well, I loved her answer there in terms of saying, you know, are you calm inside? She said, well, it's something, you know, I try not to show. So she's aware of the importance of not showing it, even though she probably is feeling a bit of pressure, a bit stressed, a bit panicked. But obviously has worked on that with her coaches throughout her time, knowing how important it is as well not to affect your own game. I mean, we so often see it on the ATP Tour, on the WTA Tours, in players talking about the fact that you don't want to get too high in the big moments or too low in the other moments. And the other thing that I've talked about a lot this week is the importance of the first game of a second set, especially when a set has been won like that, where it was very tight. And so now, you know, I think Olivia Nicholls will probably, hopefully, be telling herself she's not going to do the adrenaline dump, in terms of she needs to just sort of stay focused, keep herself up, because after coming back from a deficit like that to take the set, you so often see players sort of feel like, I've come back,
yeah.
And then they start slow in the second set. I like, though, what we've seen here from Bilchev, just to go off court, as in she will have been disappointed, but just to try and put a little barrier there to stop the momentum as well of Nicholls, and to try and come back refocused and re-energized.
Yeah, to give Nicholls just a little bit of time. I don't think Maman's saying much. Is she just there as silent support as Bilchev makes her way back? But probably, as you say, a good idea is Dario just tapping his thigh there to encourage his charge, just to take that time, because she had that lead. She came out firing. As Livia said, well, what can you do when someone comes out playing like they did? And Bilchev was absolutely on fire, but she now needs to regroup and set herself up, because it's always such an important game, this first game of the second set.
Yeah, as in I've mentioned a few times this week, David Taylor, who used to work with Alicia Molik and Sam Stosur, he always said first game of any set counts for 2. That's what he used to tell his players, just in terms to make sure that they were really switched on. And I think it's even more important when you have such a dramatic set like we did in that first one.
And just to update you on what's going on court too, I can tell you that Alice Gillen has taken the first set against Elise Maloney by 6 games to 3. Still to come here, we have the semi-final between Dan Cox and Josh Paris. That follows this match.
Jenny and I were fortunate enough to spend a bit of time in south of France playing, watching UTS and commentating on that event. And you got to speak to the players all the time at the sit-downs. And we noticed the younger players, like Alexei Poprin, would beat themselves up. Very rarely would they credit an opponent for playing well. And that's something I love, Olivia Nicholls. That's twice now against Barnett yesterday. She said it was too good for my opponent. And same again today. She was saying, you know, she wasn't saying I was playing poorly at 4-love. She was saying, no, actually my opponent was playing well. I've just got to ride the wave. I love that thought process. I think it's very easy as a tennis player just to be solely focused on yourself. And you forget what's going on down the other end of the court.
Danger here for Bilchev in this first game of the second set.
Love 40.
Yeah, she just, I think, lost a bit of confidence, hasn't she? At the moment, Bilchev. I was kind of hoping that by losing that first set, she would think, okay, I've got nothing to lose now, and free up a little. But it's almost as if the tension is still there.
You can see she's still on that roller coaster of emotions. Nicholls has really been looking to keep it on the forehand of Bilchev, not give her any backhands, but try a little bit too hard on that occasion.
Let, first up. Let, first up.
A couple of times does get stuck on that backhand a bit too far behind the baseline, Nicholls. And that's something that maybe Bilchev can look at, just trying to maybe loop it up a bit high, getting the depth on that wing. Also maybe even slow balling it every now and then to that side.
Good hands from both players in that rally, but the perfect start to set
game,
number 2 for Olivia
set.
Nicholls. She continues the momentum from winning set 1, breaking Kylie Bilchev to 30.
You're right, lovely little delicate slice backhand from Nicholls, but I think Bilchev is going to try and look to get into that exchange backhand to backhand in this second set. But I mean, look at those serving statistics. We talked about Nicholls crediting Bilchev with playing well. Bilchev's got to do the same. She's got to tell herself, look, Nicholls 86% first serve percentage. She's got to hope that that drops in set 2. You would think it would drop, although she hasn't actually done that well behind the first serve, only winning 50% of the points. But look at those break point conversion rates. Both of them excellent on the break points. But you always feel statistics don't mean all that much. It was a very, well, almost topsy-turvy first set, wasn't it?
26 years of age, Olivia Nicholls, with Alicia Barnett, helped set up the Progress Tour last year to give players an opportunity, the female players, a chance to play and earn money. That took place at the National Tennis Centre.
15
A
love.
lot of doubles at the moment with Beth Gray, who is in semi-final action a little bit later.
Love.
Must be a joy to coach, I think, Olivia Nicholls, because so often when you're working with players, you're trying to get it so their body weight goes forward into the shot. You're trying to get them moving forward through the ball, and Nicholls is so eager to get to the net. She doesn't have to worry about that. She's always moving forward through the ball.
Love.
Clean on the overhead, Bilchev.
40-15.
Feet in the right position.
And that's something we haven't seen her do as much. We saw that in the first 4 games, didn't we? The first 2 service games in particular of Nicholls. But Nicholls has done a good job of hitting so many first serves. She hasn't been able to get on top of the points. Bilchev, as much as she would have liked. I like that reaction, though. Bit of positivity.
Game, Nicholls.
There's a
Nicholls
consolidation
leads.
that
2
Nicholls
games
have
to
been
love.
looking for. Remember, she won 3 of her matches in the group. She lost on day 1 to Freya Christie, just 11-9 in the deciding tiebreak. And then she won her next 3 matches and then lost to sometime doubles partner Alicia Barnett, just the better player on the day. Barnett 6-4, 6-1 yesterday to finish 3rd in box A with 9 points. And the
Let's
winner here
first
will
serve.
be playing for place in the 5th place playoff. To build up the points in the league with all eyes on the finals week in November.
Love.
I think she's lost the Dumby.
I think she's lost a ball.
Oh, ball.
Yeah.
Ah.
30 love.
Oh, great reactions.
30-15.
Well, that's why she's so good on the doubles court. Got an amazing record. But great foot speed here to get to the ball. Great hand skills as well, just control that one. And then that was all about the reaction. Lightning quick hand skills.
All.
Both have very good conversion
30,
rates on the
40.
break points, but Nicholls here, after a third double fault from Bilchev in the last few games, a chance to go a double break up in the second set.
Game, Nicholls.
And the perfect start to the second set for Olivia Nicholls. Having turned things around in the first, she now leads Kylie Bilchev by a double break and 3 games to love. Welcome back to our coverage of the UK Pro League. This is week 1. All roads lead to the finals week in early November. 8 weeks in total. The players have the chance to win matches, pick up points, pick up prize money, with the top 9 at the end of those 8 weeks going through to the finals. So good from Nicholls again, getting herself up the net as soon as possible.
Well, you kind of feel that the backhand duel at the back of the court might suit Bilchev, but any sort of this sort of duel, you're always going to back Nicholls. She loves the battle at the front of the court. Had to play that one almost behind herself, but got the angle. And then very relaxed on the final half volley.
Both of these players will have one more match to play tomorrow. That's the beauty of the UK Pro League. It's 7 matches in 7 days, as long as you stay fit and healthy. A couple of injuries early on the men's side.
15-30.
She left it, Nicholls. Just floated in.
Nicely done. I like the variety of the backhand. We've seen her crunch a few ones flat. We've seen her use the slice, but that time deciding to play it with a lot more topspin and a lot more height over the ball, over the net, I should say.
And really good work from Bilchev to carve out these breakpoint opportunities. So easily the head could have dropped a set down from a commanding position and a double breakdown, but she's composed herself and got a couple of opportunities here to get one of these breaks back.
Game, Bilchev.
Wonderful way to win the point, the break in the game.
3-1.
It's one of the best shots we've seen all match. Always a danger approaching to the backhand side, particularly cross court, but there was still so much to do there for Bilchev, but boy, didn't she do well.
And you've seen in the match how Nicholls is really trying to keep it on the forehand wing of Bilchev. Because if you give her the opening, you give her the time, it's a lethal shot.
I was a little surprised she approached cross-court and to the backhand. I'm sure Nicholls will be regretting that, but she probably thought she'd done enough to get her on the stretch. But again, great balance from Bilchev for that shot on the run.
15 love. Love.
Some good serving now from Bilchev. You feel like you can read exactly what she's going through.
It feels like she's trying hard not to allow you to read that, but you still can at the moment, which is why I think it's a work in progress.
Yeah, just 18 years of age, the youngest player in the tournament.
You know, we heard Olivia Nicholls say at the sit-down to us that, you know, she's aware of keeping her emotions in check and not showing her opponent what she's going through, and you can see Bilchev is really trying to do that as well. As in, you know, she's making a really good effort at trying not to get too down, at trying not to let her emotions affect her play, and she's hung in there, hasn't she? I mean, set 3 love when she's been 4 love up in the first set. You know, she's still making Nicholls work here. This match is not done.
T15.
It's a terrific point overall. Again, aware that she's got her opponent on the run, on the stretch. No hesitation as well to get inside that baseline. Complete conviction. Not an easy ball to strike, the drive volley. Particularly around shoulder height. You've got to make sure you swing through it to get the control. And Nicholls did just that.
Game, Bilchev.
Well played from Carly Bilchev.
Nicholls leads 3 games to 2.
Holds her serve, but it is Olivia Nicholls who has the advantage, leading by a set and a break 3-2. Middling part of this second set, and Olivia Nicholls still has the advantage, and we still have 3 matches for your enjoyment to come today. Dan Cox against Josh Paris. It'll be 3 semi-finals, and Alicia Barnett against Beth Gray for the right to face Emily Appleton in tomorrow's final, and then Anton Matusevic, the highest ranked male player in the tournament, taking on Billy Harris. So all for your enjoyment, all to come. But here Olivia Nicholls looking to hold that advantage of the break in this second set.
Love 15.
You've got to give a lot of credit to Bilchev. You know, she's dug in here. She's clearly a little wounded, not taking advantage of the set point, being 4-love up. It's one in that first set. Showing some real character. Backhand started to fly again. Just feel Nicholls is perhaps going into that wing a little too often now.
It's what makes this competition so interesting. Such a mix of players, different ages, different expectations, ambitions. We talked about Olivia Nicholls really going to be focusing on the doubles and looking to get a wild card into Wimbledon this year in the doubles. But then Bilchev, she's 18, so the aims and aspirations and the goals of these players are all very different.
Yeah, 100%. Different characters and different game styles, as you say, and that's why this match has been really fun to watch. And trying to see how Nicholls can up against a counter puncher who can be aggressive from the baseline. I was saying in commentary yesterday, is in most sports,
15,
if you're
30.
8th, 9th best in the country, you're making a very good living in most sports, and it's not the case with tennis. And I think the general public don't quite understand that they don't understand the level that of what these players are playing at. Even though that ranked 600 in the world, 900 in the world, it's still an exceptionally high level.
Sadly, at the moment, opportunities are limited due to the world as it is, and tournaments that these players would be getting into. Might have tournaments that the cut is so high and players dropping down from the level above that it's hard to get game time.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them have talked about that's the important thing, just making sure that they're playing competitive tennis. But you also think, where there is a change in life, there is opportunities, and I think this is why hopefully this UK Pro League can last not just throughout a COVID year, can last for a very, very long time, because I think hopefully the British public will like to see these players and get to know them better and understand when you sit and watch it, it is great tennis. It's really entertaining.
Absolutely.
Game, Nicholls.
Keeps the advantage, holds on to that break. 4-2 in this
lead.
second set.
4 games to 2.
Yeah, we've got another 7 weeks after this, and then finals week. And they're always playing for something. It doesn't matter what match and what day of the week it is, they are always playing for something. And tennis players are individual contractors. If they're not playing, they're not being paid, and so tournaments like this give them the opportunity to play and earn.
It's just incredible. What a get that is from Bilchev. I think Nicholls has made the volley, though. It is love 15, but I mean, she wouldn't have thought she had to play the volley. That's just an astonishing shot from the 18-year-old. Just about alert enough, Nicholls, to make the final ball. Going back to what we were saying, I mean, we've got Dan Cox on court in the next match, and he was talking about when he was playing regularly on the ITF circuit, exactly your point you were making in terms of, you didn't know how much money you were going to earn. Sometimes you go deep in a tournament, then you can play the next 2. Other times you're not earning any money, and it was so difficult to plan where you were going, as in, what you could and couldn't afford, where you could and couldn't afford to stay. And so unless you've got sponsors or nations helping you out, it's a real tough life in terms of psychologically knowing what's around the corner. You often don't know what's around the corner. You can't really plan, and the stress of that can then affect your tennis.
And it's got a lot harder in the last 12 months or so. There haven't been tournaments to play in. There's lots of travel restrictions. Had a long conversation with Naomi Brodie, who's out in South Africa, and she said, I didn't know when I was going to get back to the UK because of quarantine, having to move from here to there, and it's always quite a complex thing, a tennis schedule, especially at the lower levels, but it's just got so much harder. Creeping in
30,
a little bit the double faults from Bilchev, and an opportunity to regain the double break for Olivia Nicholls.
Wow. Didn't hold back there. Backed herself with the forehand. Just beautifully timed hit. Nicholls, I don't think, was expecting the line ball.
Advantage, Bilchev. Game, Bilchev.
Important hold for Kylie
Nicholls leads
Bilchev.
4-3.
Faced off a break point, but still Olivia Nicholls leads by a set and a break. It's been lovely to have your company today at the UK Pro League and day 6 of 7. So far, wins today for Emily Appleton. That was a semi-final through to the final. And Jack Findle-Hawkins doing his best to get as far up that leaderboard, that league table as possible. And this match is also playing for a place in the 5th place playoff.
I think it's a big game here for Nicholls because had the chance there to get the double break lead back again. So Bilchev is just making life tough, isn't it? And she's looking, I think, to get revenge, having been a double break up herself in the first set. It would be pretty sweet for her to come back from a double break deficit in the second set.
And she showed a really good character, Bilchev, as Olivia Nicholls just outpowers the 18-year-old to keep the head together, to keep the emotions in check, and to keep herself in the second set.
Yeah, and I think no matter what happens from here on in, I think that's what Dario and, as you say, Nick, her coaches and our coaching team here will be focusing on. You always want to look at the positives. Especially after the tough loss yesterday.
15-13.
You had that tough loss, then you're up 4-love, you have a set point, you lose the set, you go double break down. I think most people would think, okay, all right, fair enough if you sort of check out a little bit, but no, she's really shown her character, and I'm sure they'll be saying, look at the position you're now in. Just lifted up a little early on the backhand side.
15-40.
I mean, you said this was an important game for Nicholls, and here she is facing a couple of break points, and both players have been very good on the conversion of the break points that they've had, and this to get us back on serve. A great point. 1-2 punch, serve out wide, pulled her opponent out.
Yeah, nice conviction as well in terms of full racket head speed on the forehand. It's easy to get a little bit tentative with those. Try and push them into the open space. It was fully committed.
Oh, excellent from Kylie Bilchev. Hands on hips, almost a smile, I think. And it's 4 games all.
Oh, just throwing herself into that point. It wasn't a bad serve at all, but was so positive. And not only didn't just hit that return and watch it and think, well, what a great return that is. She was so swift up the court and was really positive as well with the drive volley. Did so well to get on top of it, and deservedly getting the break back.
Love.
Coach Dario making himself heard, applauding his charge.
It's funny, isn't it? Suddenly, body language have been lifted, but also it's meant that now she's thinking, "Oh, can I get to the net?" Whereas we haven't seen that for much of the match. Definitely has her tail up.
No.
Just great tennis again. This time it's Mum who's making the noise.
Well wrapped up, Mum.
I love again just the fact that she takes the ball so early. It takes that time away from opponents. Hit that one nice and flat. There's control on the high volley.
It's nice to see her charging forward time after time. Got a little opening now. The Bilchev serve. Look to put some pressure on the 18-year-old here. Oh. That was great hands from Bilchev.
Just wonderful touch, wasn't it? It was almost slightly reactive because she was only just about able to get to the ball. But wonderful reaction skills. Works out a dream.
Great work from Kylie Bilchev. Really good, confident in that final ball, hands on hips, and game point to take the lead in this second set for the first time.
It's amazing how often it happens on the big points, how long the rallies start to go. One of the longest rallies of the match, but as you say, terrific footwork here. Got back into position, then could fully commit to that drive volley. No hesitation. Love that bit from Nicholls, and just suffocating her opponent. That's one thing we can say about Nicholls as well in terms of, it was a double break up, but every time we've got a glimpse of her, it's the same Olivia Nicholls. There's been no change in her demeanour.
Oof, there's a backhand.
Advantage, Bilchev.
Taking it inside out for the game point.
Intensity of this match has just gone up a couple of notches, hasn't it? Both players are really looking to take the ball on. Both looking to try and get that first strike in. Just feel Bilchev's been that much more positive in the last few games.
Bilchev.
Great serving, some fist pumping from both coach and player.
Bilchev leads.
It's an important hole of serve for Kylie Bilchev because it's the first time she's led in this second set, and we can talk about it time and time again, but it's the attitude of Kylie Bilchev that she hasn't let the head drop. She's used the emotions to her favour and she's kept herself in this match.
Yeah, and this is what we always talk about, the process and the learning experience, and she can take so much away with how she has dealt with the situation here. But as I say, I think she has just been that much more positive. She's got on the front foot, but she's done it with conviction. But as we're saying, to have that tough loss yesterday, lose that first set from 4-love up, had a set point as well, lost at the tiebreaker very comfortably. I kind of thought she was going to fall away at a double breakdown second set, but really showing a lot of character. And it's, again, been about her quality play, not really about Nicholls missing. It's been about Bilchev just stepping up, being a little bit more positive. Okay, Nicholls' first serve percentage came down just a touch. But Bilchev has certainly taken advantage of that.
I think we're all sort of riding this Bilchev roller coaster, the ups and downs, and maybe Nicholls too. Although harder to tell with Nicholls because she has this fabulous poker face and demeanour.
Yeah, but I definitely wouldn't want to face her at poker.
No. Wouldn't have a clue.
Wouldn't have a clue what hand
Good
she's
hand,
got.
bad hand, don't know. Bilchev, I might have more of an idea.
Buzzing around the court. There is a real buzz, isn't there, about Bilchev right now.
Just joining us for the first times today, if they do split sets, we'll have a champions tiebreaker, first to 10-point tiebreak to decide who wins and who will move through to the 5th place at playoff tomorrow.
She is seeing it like a football. I said it earlier on. Zin really has got the bit between her teeth and playing such confident tennis. Second serve sat up a little, but again taking it so early. Hasn't missed a drive volley for some time now. Throwing herself forward. Of course, one way of stopping Nicholls from getting to the net is by getting to net yourself. That's what Bilchev is doing.
Had a 3-love lead in this second set, Olivia Nicholls, but now she is triple set point down to the 18-year-old. You heard the roar from Bilchev as she nailed that return. Giving Nicholls a taste of her own medicine, coming forward, finishing off this set with a volley, breaking to close out the set, and it will be decided on the champions tiebreak. Bilchev takes the second by 6 games to 4. Hello. We're just checking it works.
Can't hear her.
Oh, you can't hear?
I can't hear.
Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? No.
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 That
Oh,
she's very
that's a
rude.
shame. Yeah. Been some real twists and turns in this match, Pete, and it comes down to the first to 10 champions tiebreak.
Yeah, incredible, really, isn't it? As in, initially you thought, well, Bilchev's going to run away with the first set, then ends up losing it, and then you think, well, Nicholls is going to run away with the match, and then ends up losing the second set. So, well, by that logic, I'm going to say Nicholls is going to run into an early lead here, and then Bilchev's going to come back and win it.
Oh, right. I thought you were just going to sit on the fence and not. No, okay, right.
I think plenty of twists and turns.
I haven't got a clue. I'm going for twists and turns, but you would say the momentum is with Bilchev, the way she stepped things up and the way she was seeing the ball. But there have been so many over the course of this match, and will Bilchev, as the finish line comes into sight, how will that affect her? I mean, there's still so much that could take place in this first to 10.
And again, it's that, as much as we've seen no frustration whatsoever from Olivia Nicholls, you do think, okay, that pressure of feeling probably she should have won that second set, that will have now gone. So she can now play with a bit more freedom. So the psychology flips again. What I said to you is that the one thing you don't want to do is go into a big lead. That seems to be the wrong tactic in this match today.
Yeah, we had the 4-love for Bilchev in the first set, the 3-love for Nicholls in the second. Keep it nice and tight, but then make your move.
Yeah. Lull your opponent into a false sense of security. That's what it's all about. Great tennis from Nicholls. Again, real positivity. And often when you look at a match like we've had here, where you were just saying, of course, up 4-love in the first set, Bilchev, and loses it, and the same with Nicholls. Usually you say loses it, in terms of someone getting tight, playing some poor tennis. But really it's been about the player who's been behind playing great tennis. There's been a slight drop-off, but only a fraction by the player in front. But it's been really about the player who's been trailing, suddenly upping their game.
Nicholls.
It's been a fascinating encounter, the clash of styles, personalities, different ages of these players, the different expectations, ambitions and aims, all together on one tennis court.
Difficult ball to deal with. As I say, particularly on this court, it can just die away, the slice. Also in the middle of the court there, so it's hard to know where to play that ball. Just pushing it a little too much. That's what she doesn't want. Nice, healthy lead.
Yeah, you follow the pattern of this match. It's not a good position to be in, although the scoreboard does look a lot better at the moment for Olivia Nicholls.
Yeah, been very switched on, hasn't she? Started this match tiebreak. Again, no hangover effect from losing that second set.
Change-ends. That is a healthy-looking lead now for the 26-year-old Olivia Nicholls, who trains at Loughborough, studied here for her initial degree, and after graduating came back and took on a role as a pro player coach. Here with her mum Anne, who was glad she brought the gloves and the big coat. Get a chance to watch her daughter up close.
Yeah, and that's something that she was talking about, saying that doesn't happen all that often. She's been really enjoying it this week, and it couldn't be any closer. Sat on court.
It's prime spot.
It is just a little cold. That's the only downside.
A little cold. So Nicholls in the driving seat, first to 10, 5-1 lead.
Nicholls.
Again, you can see the encouragement there from Coach Dario. Getting good length and being positive with the backhand, and I think that's what he'll be trying to tell her to do, and she's got to stop Nicholls from getting forward, and the best way she's done that so far is her being super positive, being a little bit more aggressive, especially off the backhand wing.
Let's first serve. Let first serve.
Again, point that was full of positivity.
You did say it wasn't good to have a good lead. the lead has been eaten away by Bilchev.
I told a story earlier on in the week, and again, doing a big name drop, Billie Jean King used to talk about a lot in terms of, she used to tell herself she was 5-2 down all the time, almost in every single match, every single situation. She said sometimes she'd lose the score because she was so good at acting in her own mind. And it is a lot harder for a lot of players to have the lead. There's that little bit more pressure. You can see both players seem so much more comfortable being behind. And she said, you've got to be a good actress or actor to be a good tennis player.
Backhand that initially did the damage, really putting Nicholls on the run. A couple of attempts at the overhead, but you may have seen Dario's fist pump out of the corner. His charge is levelled up.
Yeah, and again, getting inside the baseline, playing really great attacking tennis. Just seems to play with such freedom when she's trailing.
Nearly leapt out of his chair,
yeah.
didn't he?
But why not? I mean, that was such a positive, great point from Bilchev. It's just whether she can keep doing that throughout the rest of this match tiebreak. Well, I said Nicholls would run into a lead and then Bilchev will come back and win the match tiebreak. I'm worried her comeback's come too soon now because it could flip back the other way.
Very close between these two. Despite the lopsided scoreline at times, it has been close between these two. But it's now Bilchev that just edges ahead at 6-5.
And this is where I wish we had a headset with Anne, her mum, just to see how she's feeling.
How she's feeling.
Yeah.
She might not be able to talk at this point.
No.
Through cold and through nerves.
There she is. So I'm going to be interested, Gigi, when your kids get to a point where they play something competitive, and then how you feel. Because you said earlier you weren't competitive as a player, but will you be competitive when your kids play? That, if you see what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying. I don't know. I can't give you an answer on that one. Luckily, I've got twins, and they're really competitive, so I can just leave them to be competitive together. But as a, yeah, possibly. They're still a little bit too young.
Yeah.
To be in that situation for me to, they have played a little bit of tennis and they just randomly hit balls in the wrong place, sit down and don't listen to the teacher. In which place I hide. Are you their mother? No. But I can see why parents do get like that when your children's but you want the best for them. You've invested so much with them, in them, to do what they want to do. So it must be very, very difficult to watch and contain the emotions.
Yeah, not just that. I think as a parent,
7-6.
you will have controlled what your kid has done and much throughout that. Not control, but, you know, help them throughout their life. But when you sat courtside, you can't affect what your child is doing. You can't help them.
Just want to help and protect them.
Which means you are even more. My mum always used to say she found it so much harder watching me play tennis than her playing. It was just so much more stressful.
I can imagine. I can see why that is the case. You spend your whole life trying to protect them, but I think maybe Nicholls gets the poker face from Anne because she looks very calm.
Yeah, eyes tell a story, don't they? Oh, what a return that is!
Wow.
7-0.
So 7 points apiece. They remain locked together. It's been quite lopsided in the sets, but after the initial lead that Nicholls had, they're just following each other point by point. Great play from Nicholls. You could see the desperation to get forward, to put herself in the commanding position.
And again, it was a smart volley. She knew there that she had to get depth on it to rush Bilchev, and did just that. Get a feel for whoever loses this match. I mean, they've both put on such a great display of attacking tennis, but not just that. I think they've both shown great character at different times throughout this encounter.
They both have a match to come tomorrow, but the winner goes through to the 5th place playoff.
Missed it by a whisker.
9-7.
That missed by a whisker brings up match points for Olivia Nicholls, who came back from love 4 down in the first set to take it on the tie-break. Had a commanding 3-love lead in the second set, would go on to lose it, and after an early lead in this champions tie-break, has match points.
On the line.
9-8.
Gutsy tennis from Bilchev.
And no holding back, match point down.
Yeah, again, you've got to credit the character, having just missed a ball that she went for off the backhand side. No hesitation to really go for it off the forehand side.
An opportunity for Nicholls to close this out on her own serve. Still we play on.
Still we go on, yeah. Good positive return. Crucial though there really that Nicholls just missed the first serve. But they're both going to be fighting with demons, aren't they, really, in truth? Because they'll both be feeling they perhaps should have won this match. Just feel Nicholls maybe got a little tight there, but again, Bilchev just seems to play such brilliant, aggressive, attacking tennis whenever she's down.
A couple of match points come and gone for Olivia Nicholls. 9 points apiece. Nicholls with the serve. Oh, hand over the face. Hand over the face from Kylie Bilchev. There's so much right in that point.
Oh, God, I love the slice backhand, though, from Nicholls. It was vicious. And the variety then just looping it up to the forehand side, and that did the damage.
Third opportunity to close out this match. For Nicholls, it will be on the serve of Bilchev. Call coming from the chair.
Definitely wide.
Yeah, very confident in the chair as well. Definitely wide were the 2 words, which I think is actually exactly what Nicholls probably needed to hear, because if he'd said, I think it was wide, that might have lingered in her mind.
And on we go. Oh, the feel, the touch from Bilchev.
11-10, Bilchev.
Quite incredible. Such a big moment too. Hasn't played many drop shots. Nerves of steel here. It was a late change as well, and well, because she hasn't played many drop shots, Nicholls didn't pick it.
An opportunity for Kylie Bilchev to close out this match will be on the serve of Olivia Nicholls. The twists and turns in this encounter continue. It's been a great contest between these 2 players. But now it's advantage Bilchev, the youngest player in the tournament. The good play from Nicholls. The wide serve, stretching the play.
She might just be wondering, why couldn't I have found one of those serves on the match point? Nicholls, incidentally, has lost a match, having had a match point already this week. Lost on day 1 to Christie. So that might have been in the back of her mind too. She's also won a match where she saved a match point, though, as well. She's like the drama this week. It's a shot she's played so well throughout the match, but it's a tough shot to execute because of the cut on the ball. Maybe just misread it. A little too eager, certainly mistimed the ball.
Another opportunity here for Olivia Nicholls to get the job done. Make her way through to the 5th place playoff. And there it is, Olivia Nicholls crosses the finish line. She gets the job done, but it has been tough against the 18-year-old Kylie Bilchev. What a contest between the 2, but it is Olivia Nicholls who comes through, gets the job done. think Mum's off to get warm. She said, thank you. I've seen it. Well done. We're off now. But it's Nicholls who comes through in that champions tiebreak in the third.
Yeah, really entertaining match and, well, topsy-turvy affair and dramatic as well, as in Nicholls, as I say, has had a fair few dramatic matches, but was able to save the match point there. But real credit to both players. We can look at stats all you like in that sort of a match, but really you've got to give them a lot of credit with regards to how they fought back from difficult positions. They kept their head up. They didn't drop their head. They didn't fall away. It would have been easy for Bilchev in particular, who found herself a set and 3-love down. There's lots of positives, as far as I'm concerned, from Bilchev to be able to come back from that position, to play the positive brand of tennis, and to get herself into position to win the match with the match point. So you're hoping that Coach Dario will just say that to her. Say, look, there was so much stuff there that was so good, especially after the disappointment of yesterday. But credit to Olivia Nicholls. I mean, it would have been easy for her, having been in such a great position, then had it nearly taken away. But we've talked about her temperament time and time again, and I think her temperament was so key towards the back end of that match, and kept doing the right things, kept looking to get inside the baseline, play her attacking brand of tennis, and at the end of the day, it just worked.
Yeah, the great thing about the UK Pro League is you have another chance the next day to work on things, to change things, to do things differently if you so wish. So plenty of positives for Kylie Bilchev. But your winner is Olivia Nicholls. She will go through to the 5th place playoff, and she's ready to have a chat on court with Marcus Buckland. Marcus.
Olivia, many congratulations. I think it's fair to say that you didn't necessarily do that the easy way, did you? I think, I'll tell you what, we'll ask you just to get a bit closer to the microphone if you don't mind, just so we can hear your words of wisdom. Yeah, if you could take it off. Yeah, I think we're socially distant. Hopefully we'll hear you better now. So just go through it again, because the match ebbed and flowed. First set went one way, then the other, likewise the second. And the tiebreak kept us guessing until the very last shot was struck in anger. I tell you what, you can't hear me, I can't hear you. Momo's we've got a guy who's an expert when it comes to fixing, hopefully, broken microphones. It was an astonishing match. He's going to work his little bit of magic. Just to reiterate what's happened so far today already, we've had drama just about from the word go, with Emily Appleton coming through in our first match against Freya Christie. So Appleton goes through to the final tomorrow. And then Jack Findle-Hawkins, who's produced some really fine efforts throughout the week, was too strong for Mark Whitehouse. And then this thrilling encounter, which hopefully we will now be able to reflect on a little more if Momo has worked his magic. Can you hear me now?
Are we back in?
Yes, we've got you. Okay, let's start. Take 2 here. Congratulations. You didn't necessarily do it the easy way, but tell us how you did do it.
Yeah, so she obviously got off to a very good start. I was 4-love down and just managed to claw my way back into that set. I think I might have saved a set point, but I can't actually remember. Then I went up in the second and she managed to pull it back, and yeah, it was just one of those matches that kept going one way and then the other, but I was just happy to come through in the end.
Well, you're renowned for your fighting instincts, which of course are so important when it comes to playing tennis. Is that always something that you've considered to be a strength?
Yeah, I think so. I'm one of these people that's never going to give up easily, that's for sure, and I like to think that I stay calm, and even in the difficult moments I managed to find a way to sort of dig deep and work things out. So yeah, I was happy to do that today. And
you've had your mum alongside you this week. Has that been a help?
I think it has. I mean, I think she's just happy to have the week off, and she's been doing all the vaccinations for COVID, so she's just happy to have a week off and watch me play, because she doesn't get to see me play very often. So yeah, it's definitely nice to have someone here supporting. And of course, it's a big week physically. You've had some injury problems. Yeah. Going into the final match tomorrow, how are you feeling? Tired. Yeah, I've not played competitively since November, and obviously I'm normally much more of a doubles player. So to play 6 singles in 6 days is a lot, having not played competitively for a while. So yeah, I'm just thinking one more to go and then I can have a rest.
You can. And I've got some more good news for you. Norwich are winning 2-0 at half-time against Luton.
Who scored?
Teemu Pukki got first, both the goals, in fact. So it's been a good day for you so far.
Good day all round.
Congratulations. Look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Well done.
Thank you.
That was a fantastic match. Jenny was watching from the sidelines. And as I mentioned in the interview, Jenny, until that last point was won by Olivia, it was impossible to call, wasn't it?
It was, and Olivia said it there. It was just one of those matches that ebbed and flowed the whole way. It completely changed. And I have to say, I'm so impressed with both of their temperaments, because that is a difficult match to control yourself, because inside you're nervous, you're tight, you're playing well 1 minute, your opponent then comes back the next. That's really difficult to manage on the court. And both of them, especially Kylie, she's just 18 years old. And to me, she's sending a big message to a lot of different players to say, look, I'm a fighter, I'm here, and it doesn't matter if I'm a set and a double breakdown, I'm going to fight to the last point.
And a word about Kylie, who left the court in tears last night after losing a really tight match in a tie-break, and there she was fighting off those match points here, having won for herself. It's part of the business, of course, but that's presumably going to hurt.
Yeah, I mean, in tennis we so often say that you learn most from your tough losses, and we've seen that happen to players, you know, ranked all sorts, and it is going to be a bitter pill for her to swallow tonight, but she does have to come back tomorrow, and I'm sure she'll be extremely hungry to round off what has been a very successful week for her on a win.
Yeah, but she can still finish in 7th place. Olivia is on track perhaps for a 5th place finish. Right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got the first of the men's semi-finals for you.